morning. What a great day. I absolutely love today's board. Make some noise in the chat. Who's here with me? What up, Ian? What's going on, Buck? Bluff City, what up, dude? Thank you. What an amazing slate today. What an amazing slate today. We got some good hoops yesterday, right? Very chalky. Very chalky. Very chalky yesterday. But you know what? What up, ACAV? Fellas, ladies, if you're out there, the dogs might be barking today. Yesterday was very chalky, but the dogs might be barking today. What up, Austin? How we doing? Everyone make some noise if you're in the chat. Hey, Connor. Connor, that's what I'm saying right now. Guys, I'm not saying I'm gonna bet the board today. I know. But if there were, that'd be cool. This is an all-inclusive community that we're building here. I know. Not only did they win, dude, they covered. Unless you got Oakland at the right time, every favorite covered yesterday. All right. I'm gonna go chronologically. Okay. Make some noise in the chat. Do you guys want me to go chronologically? We'll talk about that. Do you guys want me to go chronologically, or do you want me to go with my best bets first? Because we can do either. Marquette, Colorado is our first game of the day. What's up, Dean? We can go chronologically, or we can go with my best bets. Make some noise in the chat. What do you guys want? Hey, you guys are the shot callers here. Chronologically. All right, Marquette, Colorado. Okay, just real quick before I start. Yeah, I'm gonna go Greenwood. What up, Sniper? All right, guys, I'm gonna go chronologically. One thing. Sorry, Patrick. Majority rules out here. Okay. So, here's how I want this to go. I'm gonna riff about these games. I took notes. I went back and watched my film. I got my numbers right. I respect you guys. If you're here right now in the morning on Sunday right now, you know your shit to an extent, at least, right? You either really do or you're close. And I respect what you guys have to say. So if I'm riffing about a game and I make a point that you disagree with, fire at me in the chat. Like, we can have a back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I gotta figure out the lighting here real quick. Okay. Is this too dark? You guys like my comfy, by the way? Make some noise. Make some noise if you like the comfy. Okay. We'll get right into it. Starting off, Sniper. All right. Marquette, Colorado. Line's 3.5. Feels small for a number 2, right? It feels small for a 2 against a 10. Thank you. They're my soccer shorts. Marquette, Colorado feels small for a 10-2, right? Marquette, I think, is a team that can win the title. I picked them in my bracket. Part of that was some game theory. In my main bracket, I picked Marquette. Colorado is a team that I have, if you've been following me on Twitter, that I've been tweeting about since the beginning of the year. That was a tournament-type sleeper. And why is that? KJ Simpson's one of the best guards in the country. Eddie Lampkin is a matchup problem. He's tough to guard. He's big. He's energetic. And then you've got this combination of De Silva, Cody Williams when he's functioning like he did against Florida, Hadley, Luke O'Brien, these big wings that can back you down, that are good passers, and they're good shooters, right? And they don't take a lot of threes. Let me share my screen. Let's do some Ken Palm action. You guys don't need to see my beautiful face take up this whole damn screen. Present, share screen. All right, you guys see this box score? Holy shit, I got too many tabs open. Okay. So, what do you guys see when you look at this? What I see is, compared to that Boise game, it was wild how up and down this game was, right? Colorado went from having to earn every inch against that physical Boise team to being in this open court game against Florida where they were just out there having fun, man. 27 assists. Every starter with 4+ assists. Big Eddie with 5 assists, 21. They had no answer for Eddie Lampkin. They're getting to the line, and they're a great free throw shooting team. If I'm not mistaken, they're a top 10 free throw shooting team in the country. They are. Of course, I'm not mistaken. Okay? So you went from this Boise game where you had to earn everything. You got absolutely nothing from Hadley and O'Brien, right? And Cody Williams looked like he didn't know how to play basketball. Like supposed first overall pick, Cody Williams, didn't look like he knew how to play basketball. And against Florida, they got whatever they wanted. And this is why I was tweeting about Colorado guys early on. Colorado is a matchup nightmare. Okay. They run offense different from a lot of teams. A lot of teams, man, we're 15 seconds into the shot clock, and all we've done is swung it around the perimeter, done a dribble handoff for like stupid Michigan State, who I'm happy they're out of this tournament. Oh, ball screen. You're not doing anything. Colorado does stuff. They get stuff done on offense, okay? They have a great lead guard, but it's about the De Silvas, the Hadleys, the O'Briens, the Lampkins that you can play through in the post who are really good passers, okay? For a team to be this good at three-point shooting as they are, once again, they're an elite three-point shooting team, 6th best in the country. They don't shoot it. They scored 102 points and only took 10 threes. All this to say, Colorado's a really unique team, man. They're a really unique team. They're tough to guard. They're different. I got my Colorado love out of the way. Let's talk about Marquette. I love Marquette too. And if you're following me, if you got your post noties on, you know that I hammered Marquette live. I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose to Western Kentucky. Sorry it took Kolek a second to get his feet under him. He still played well in that first half. Guys just weren't hitting shots. He's passing the guys that were in his shots. Oso missed like a couple layups. Like, in Western Kentucky was hitting everything. Western Kentucky was getting out and running, but Marquette was forcing turnovers. You knew they were going to settle into that game, and that's exactly what they did, okay? Cam Jones is dialed in right now. Cam Jones has been one of the best players in the country lately, right? Kolek's back, 18-11, casual, right? Ben Gold gives some good bench minutes. Chase Ross, Joplin, Mitchell, just so solid on the wings. They know their role. They do their job. They move the ball. They defend. They can hit their open threes, okay? Marquette is a great team. And here's something I'm thinking, right? What jumps out of it matchup-wise? Eddie Lampkin, what is he? He's what? He's fat. Eddie Lampkin's fat. He's awesome. He's energy. You know who's not fat? Oso Ighodaro. Does that mean Eddie's going to boom, 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 knock his ass back, pick him apart with the pass, or get to the rim, get fouled, get Oso in foul trouble, and then we've got Eddie Lampkin bullying Ben Gold? Is that how this matchup's going to go? Or is Eddie Lampkin going to have to be guarding in space against the most dynamic pick and roll duo in the country, with Oso on the short roll, making plays to a red hot Cam Jones and to Mitchell and Joplin and those guys, right? There's different ways this can go. And one point about Oso being a little thinner, right? And Eddie Lampkin being big fat boy. Who's a big fat boy in the Big East? Chat, who's a big fat boy in the Big East? Yeah, if Cam Jones played that, damn, they're tough to beat. That's their I guess he's their second best player. Oso might be their second highest usage player. Hey, I got 61 people in this stream right now, which is awesome. But I need participation from the class. Who is the fat boy in the Big East that I'm thinking of? Is this chat delayed or do I just is everyone just on their phones in class right now? Someone's got to answer this. 63 heads. Fat big man in the Big East. Don't let me down. Donovan Clingan is not fat, Austin. What? I appreciate the participation, but I wouldn't consider him fat. Oduro works. That's not who I was thinking of, but Oduro works. Bluff City. In Providence beat Marquette. No, but I hear you. Okay. Maybe it wasn't a good enough question. You guys think so just. I'm thinking Eric Dixon. Eric Dixon's 255. 6'9", and Eddie Lampkin is what? Eddie Lampkin is 6'11", 265. So he's a little bigger than Dixon, but Marquette swept Villanova, and even though on paper it's oh no, dude, I know you guys are joking. Now Cal Brenner is not fat. Come on, now. He's a good big man. He's not fat. Okay, you understand what I'm saying though? On paper, Eric Dixon has it's not in a disrespectful way. As is Eddie Lampkin. Is fantastic. Eddie Lampkin's out there pirouetting and spinning in the lane and dropping dimes and dropping behind the back pass. Eddie Lampkin's a really good player. I love Eddie Lampkin. I've been an Eddie Lampkin guy. And as is Eric Dixon. Yeah, but he's a strong, huge 7'2", 280. Hey, it's okay. That's your loss. I woke up thinking about Eddie Lampkin and DJ Burns because that's the matchup we get if Colorado wins this, right? But all right, y'all catch me. The point is, even if on paper Eddie Lampkin is a matchup problem for Oso, it's not. Marquette can work around that. And I do think Eddie's going to have a really tough time on the defensive end. And what's interesting is Colorado played a game that was super slow and super gritty, grimy. in a game that was super fast and super open, and it couldn't be any easier to score. And when you look at Marquette, I tweeted this a couple weeks ago. Look at how interesting this is. They have the 9th fastest offense in the country. They're running, they're gunning, they're having fun. It's showtime. But then on defense, they grind you down, dude. It's only team it takes longer to get a shot up against is Virginia. Look at Colorado State. You know why that game was so gross. That's a good point. Lampkin is not. This is the type of chat involved I'm talking about. What's up, Adam? I totally agree. Lampkin, everything doesn't need to go through Lampkin, but low key, I think Colorado's kind of at their best when they start their possessions with an early post touch, whether it's Lampkin, whether it's Hadley or O'Brien. And that's why Boise was a struggle, because O'Brien and Hadley couldn't do anything in the post because of how solid Boise was, right? Eddie was still, it's really hard to stop Eddie. It's just hard to hold your thing. I'm worried about Lampkin having to guard Oso in space. You should be, because what does Oso do? Not just roll, it's the short roll. And then it's the push shot. It's the spraying to shooters. Marquette is damn tough to guard. And it only took Kolek a second to get his feet under him. Let's not forget who Tyler Kolek is. And who's beside him? Cam Jones. Cam Jones is hooping right now. So all this to say, yeah. It wasn't supposed to be apples to apples. All I was trying to say is that if you think Eddie Lampkin's just going to bully Oso and it's that simple, I'm just saying it's not that simple. And if we get this Marquette NC State game, it's not going to be that simple of it's Oso against DJ Burns, right? DJ Burns is going to be lost in the sauce, by the way. We'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But DJ Burns might not be able to stay on the floor against Marquette. If you remember that Carolina NC State game back in January, DJ Burns couldn't play because of that. No comment. I think he can read. I'm a Kolek fan. You came to the wrong guy if you're trying to hate on Tyler Kolek. I do think the joke is funny, though. Whoever, Dangly Sack and all. Who is it? Lumpy Dumper. All the Providence burners are just absolutely great. Okay. Yeah, I agree DJ Burns is better than Lampkin to an extent. He demands more, but Eddie Lampkin's still a damn good player. All this to say, I'm not playing this game. I lean Marquette, but I the people who see Marquette on a short line right now against a 10 seed, against a Colorado team that was fairly lucky to get by Boise, it's not that simple, guys. Colorado's really good and they cause matchup problems. I lean Marquette because at the end of the day, offensively, they are the beautiful medium between Florida and Boise. They can grind you down defensively and do a better job defensively than Florida. Florida can't guard anything, anyone or anything. I could go get you 10 against Florida. At least 8. And Marquette is going to score. Lampkin's going to have a tough time defending, and Hadley, O'Brien, those guys are solid. But guess who else is solid? Stevie Mitchell, Ross, and Joplin. Solid. Guys, I'm not even trying to be moving lines out here, but Bluff City, they're at 4.5. Gun to my head, I'm picking Marquette, but where'd you get 8 from? It's not 8. It's not 8, but all right. All that to say, this is one of the one games today that I don't really want to play. As I said, if I'm leaning, I'm taking Marquette. They've been the better team all year. They can score in a way that Florida was able to score, Colorado wasn't. Oh, I'll go back. Yeah, no. I could get you 1 bucket on Florida. I could get you 1 bucket. Yeah, I don't know if it's a sucker line. If you go on KenPom, if Marquette, Colorado's really good, guys. Colorado's ranked 24th in KenPom in the country for a reason. And Marquette's 15th, 14th. The line makes sense. And Colorado can cause problems. Marquette can cause problems. Lean Marquette. That's what I have for this game. Make some noise in the chat if you are playing this one. Interested to see anyone really confident about this. At a certain point, Colorado's legs are going to fatigue when to fun. Lampkin definitely doesn't skip leg day, I don't think. But tournament stuff is different. Teams can get hot, and teams look at Creighton's legs, right? Cuisinart and Dante gave out, and Creighton was fine. You're on Colorado, not super confident. It's not a comfy play. There's better spots, I think, to attack today. I think this game could go a lot of ways. The over, sure, I would lean the over. I think it's more likely that neither team can stop each other than that neither team can score, for sure. Hey, man, Eddie Lampkin can move. Marquette moneyline, you don't want to lay the 4.5? You don't want to lay the 4.5 tonight for Greenwood? I'm out here only taking spreads. You won't catch me taking favorites on the money line. All right, let's move on. What's the next game today chronologically? Utah State, Purdue. Yeah, Big East is going on a revenge tour. I think they could all make the Final Four, if we're being honest. That's interesting, but I doubt it. Guys, I was joking. I'm trash. But I appreciate y'all keeping me humble out here. Which that's interesting, but like I don't think so. Like Oso was always one on Dixon. It's like it's just a team effort to defend. And they're very connected defensively, right? And of course, Shaka can dig at him if he's out there on the perimeter. All right, I'm gonna skip Utah State Purdue. We'll come back to that. Who wants to talk about Duke James Madison? I'm gonna skip Purdue for now because I'm really excited about Duke James Madison. All right, make some noise in the chat if you think Duke's gonna win, and make some noise in the chat if you think James Madison is gonna win. Because when I went back and watched these games, did some more research, here are some of my takeaways. Takeaway number one, yeah, we'll get to boring EDs. Takeaway number one. Let's talk about this Duke. I mean, line 7. So, Ryan, this is not good enough. You need to be better. You can't just say 5 to 10 with a line 7. Woof, woof. JMU covers. Over. It's going to come down to a tough whistle from the Zebras. Go JMU. Duke is soft. Absolutely Duke is soft. JMU D was relentless, and they need to be disciplined. Okay. JMU was smothering Wisconsin defensively. They absolutely were. Depends on the refs. Hey, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, I posted Tyrese Proctor with this step through that was like the biggest travel ever, and it pissed me off because part of my implicit bias says if he wasn't on Duke, he doesn't get that call. Duke covers, Duke wins by 12. All right, guys, takeaway number 1. Where's your depth, John Shire? You played 5 dudes against Vermont. You out here playing 5 dudes against Vermont in year 2 of your tenure. Like, I understand Caleb Foster's not healthy. I do think that makes a big difference to this Duke team. Hey, you're going to have to wait a second, but I may or may not be on the same page as you. Wisconsin and Duke are not the same. Cool. I agree. Just hear me out, okay? You got no depth. Jalen Blake's out here, can't play. Sean Stewart doesn't play anymore. Ryan Young, don't get me started. Don't get me started on Ryan Young. I don't need to say anything about Ryan Young. We know who Ryan Young is, okay? And Kyle Filipowski had 3 points, but he was getting doubled in the post. He did great on the glass, 12 boards, and he had 4 assists, okay? Yeah. You said it, not me. You're out here playing Vermont, guys. And let's not forget, this was a close game in the second half. And Vermont was caking threes. Vermont was missing wide open threes. At least a few, right? And you didn't really dominate the offensive glass. You got 9. I'll get to that in a second. Let me finish with Duke. You've got no depth right now. You've got little guards, which is why Carolina beats them, because they've got bigger guards. That's why Carolina owns them. Mark Mitchell, who, yes, he can rim run, he can defend, blah, blah, blah. He can't shoot. Okay, he's limited. How good is Duke, guys? Last year, what did you have? What did you have for Duke last year? You had Derek Lively at the 5, who, is like Luka Doncic's new best friend now, and Whitehead, who was like the number 2 recruit in the country. You don't have those guys anymore. Who'd you replace it with? Jared McCain, really good player. Really good player. But at this point, without Foster in the mix, it's like this team is worse than last year. Like, don't get it twisted. And Filipowski's not like a big 4 right now. He's a weak 5. I understand he's 7 feet, but like he's a guy that can get like knocked around a bit. Okay. And let's take a look at this James Madison team. Okay. Things that I like. You just won a tournament game by 11 against a team that made the Big Ten tournament finals. No one scored more than 14 points. You didn't shoot the 3 ball well. Like what are the things we see in these upsets? Teams getting really hot. Hello, Oakland. Hello, Yale. Or one guy goes off and has a big time. This is just a good team, guys. Like it's pretty simple. James Madison went 32-3 this year. Okay. And they held their own physically against Wisconsin. They looked more athletic than Wisconsin. They looked more connected offensively and defensively than Wisconsin because they're so balanced offensively. Like, it's not like they need, we need Xavier Brown to pick and roll every time. We need to ISO Terrence Edwards. We need to post up Bickerstaff or Wooden. Like, they're just balanced guys. They're old as hell. TJ Bickerstaff's in his 5th year. Julian Wooden's in his 5th year. Friedell's in his 5th year. Green's in his 5th year. Your juniors. Carey's only freshman. Like, James Madison is just a really good balanced team. They have more dudes than Duke right now. I just showed you that John Shire was afraid to put anyone in on the bench. You're good, Greenwood. On the middle. Jamie will be. I don't know if we're bullying, but y'all hear what I'm saying. James Madison's a good ass team, and we're getting 7.5 against this Duke team that, like, I'm just not sold on. You're playing 5 dudes. Let's talk matchups too, right? Like, What's something that caused Duke problems in the Carolina game? They threw Tyrese Proctor on RJ Davis because he has the length and athleticism to bother Davis a bit, right? What does that leave? It leaves McCain and Roach to guard guys that are bigger than him. And Terrence Edwards is going to be a matchup problem because are you putting Proctor on Edwards? Edwards is a strong wing who can get his own. And are you going Proctor on Edwards and then McCain and then Friedell's more of a shooter? Like, I guess you could probably put Roach on him. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, what's up, Les Johns? Yeah, Flip did get knocked around by a Wake Forest student. We don't think TJ Bickerstaff, king of Mr. Boston College, played 2 years at Boston College. Here's one note that I was looking for some positive confirmation bias towards JMU, and I got the exact opposite. When Duke played Boston College last year, Duke won by 1 at Boston College. TJ Bickerstaff played 20 minutes, and his plus-minus was -19. So I don't want to put too much into that data point, but, like, that was not a good look when I saw that. But, like, TJ Bickerstaff's been around. He's got good length. He can move. Like, that's another thing, guys. Mark Mitchell and Filipowski, James Madison matches up really well with them. Of course, Filipowski has a bit of size, but, like, who says that they got to double Filipowski in the post? I understand you're giving up a little bit of height, but I'm not convinced that James Madison needs to even double. And a lot of what Duke does well comes off that double Filipowski. That might be completely wrong, and they end up doubling him. And if they do, like they did sometimes against Wisconsin, like, that doesn't really change my outlook on this game. I'm just saying there's a chance they don't need to. And, like, another thing, like, I was talking about the bounce. Like, Xavier Brown, 5 points, 0 for 3 from deep, right? And you win this game by double digits as a dog. This is a dude that went for, did I click the wrong guy? This is a dude that went for 21 and hit 5 threes in your conference tournament title game. Like, how many teams have that luxury as a 12 seed, right? Where they have this bounce. And we'll get to Grand Canyon in a second. Don't you guys worry. But I don't know, man. Let me see. Do I have any other notes for this game? Yeah, real quick on that Vermont game. Like, guys, Duke did not play well, and they did not look good against Vermont. Like, did you guys watch the same game as me? They out here scoring 64 points against Vermont. They held them to 47 because Vermont couldn't hit anything. Vermont couldn't get to the free throw line. James Madison will be able to get to the free throw line. They're way more athletic, and they were getting to the basket against Wisconsin. They shot 2 of 6 from the free throw line. It was a complete 0 from that. Hey, man, you can stay as long as you want. I'll be done before the Marquette Colorado game goes. I'm fired up, guys. You guys want the breakdowns? Like, I laid off the board yesterday because I had today circled. Play number 1 is James Madison plus 7.5. I'm holding back on the money line. I might do it. Who knows? But, guys, James Madison is more balanced. Duke is not that scary. They can match up well with Filipowski. Edwards is the matchup problem. They didn't even shoot the 3-ball well last game, and they won by double digits against Wisconsin. I believe in this team. Mark Byington sits down for his press conference and goes, I mean, like not in an arrogant way. Just like, we're very confident. We're not like surprised at all we won. And like, I guess everyone kind of says that, but like, I'm reading his energy. Like, he's got a really good relationship with his team right now. I know there's rumors that he's going to go to West Virginia, and people are saying if West Virginia doesn't announce today, that means that Byington's their guy. I don't know, man. James Madison's very impressive. They've been very impressive all season. They're more balanced. Who says Duke's that good? Who's that scared of Duke right now? And Duke's soft. They lost to Carolina, lost to NC State. Like, they're reeling right now. They have not been playing good ball. I don't know, man. We're going with James Madison plus 7.5, 100%. Will I take the money line? I'm thinking about it. Next game, Clemson Baylor. I don't have a ton to say on Clemson Baylor. I think this is the toughest game to read today, to be honest. Obviously, you guys know that I was that's another way to say it, right? Like if you're taking the points with Duke, what are you asking for? You're asking for James Madison to not hit anything, for McCain to go off. They have just absolutely no answer for Filipowski, and maybe they get something from their bench, like, or James Madison. James Madison could take a lead and like, oh my God, I forgot my favorite James Madison point, guys. My favorite James Madison point. What's the sign of a good team? My Drake Bulldogs were up 8, should have beat Wazoo. Like, you had a chance to stretch that lead double digits, you didn't do it. You had another chance, you didn't do it. Boom, it's over. Brody's in foul trouble, you're done. Okay? What did James Madison do? Every time Wisconsin tried to chip away at that lead and get it to double, they had an answer. Oh, Wisconsin cuts it to 7, we had an answer. Oh, we cut it to 6, we cut it to 8, we cut it to 9. They had an answer every time. They were cool, calm, and collected. They were the better team, and they never went through that drought that allowed Wisconsin to get through that game. Like, Wisconsin was never able to launch a run, and that's partly because Wisconsin's not that good. But, like, is Duke that much better than Wisconsin? It is a weak pod. Moment of silence for New Mexico, absolutely. And yeah, absolutely Twins fan, absolutely. Okay, do we have to fade Clemson? We could, okay? But here's the problem, guys. It was part of the reason why I was so high on New Mexico. I just was goo gaga over their path because I thought New Mexico was going to beat Baylor if they beat Clemson. And I'm just not sold on Baylor's guards. Langston Love is my favorite Baylor player. He's not playing. And if good, Chase Hunter shows up, Clemson's a good-ass team. And the reason that Clemson was so frustrating to me this year, and the reason I faded them with Boston College, the reason I faded them with New Mexico, is that the good Clemson doesn't show up half the time. If PJ Hall doesn't hit his first 3, it's like, oh, they're not going to win. That's what it feels like sometimes. Joe Girard, y'all know how I feel about him. And I wish New Mexico was able to expose him more on the defensive end. They were not. It's cool. But then, like, guys like Godfrey off the bench, Godfrey's a really good player. Godfrey's a really good player to just be bringing off your bench. Schifflin, PJ Hall, the high-low action, like if they're moving the ball, if they're connected, and Chase Hunter is aggressive and shows up and plays hard, they're a good team. Let's just say it like this. I'm not capable of backing Clemson because they drive me nuts. And if bad Clemson shows up, I'm going to be like, you idiot, why'd you bet on Clemson? But I'm not touching Baylor, guys. I've been fading Baylor. I don't think they're that good. Langston Love's not playing. I mean, we want to say that, and Misi and Walter are first rounders, yeah, but like PJ Hall's a better college basketball player than Misi is. And like, as I said, Langston Love's not playing. And like, put some respect on Langston Love's name, man. He's a really good guard. He's going to be their best guard. I mean, it could be that Clemson also just like got their asses kicked by Boston College and they lost to Wake the game before. And then they just showed up and like just executed offensively. New Mexico missed shots. They took advantage. Like Clemson played really well. Like, and I understand everyone wants to hate on the Mountain West, whatever. Like, it was not a good matchup for New Mexico. And I emotionally bet that because I love New Mexico and hate Clemson. And that's not my process. My process is watching the film, breaking down the numbers, thinking of angles, listening to the coaches, and then making my predictions. That was just me saying, oh, I'm hot right now. It was a heat check, essentially. And it wasn't cool. And I'm mad about that. More than them losing by 20. I'm mad that I just impulsively decided to throw down that big bet. That I got to be better for y'all. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, do we want to touch this game? This is a game that I would consider live betting because this is a game you can get a feel for. If you guys are like me, I usually before the first TV timeout, I can tell like I'm on the right side or I'm not on the right side. Sometimes you're like, okay, this is going to be close. But like the second that comes to my team, you're like, I'm on the wrong side. Right. Sometimes it just happens. 4.5 seems a bit small. It's small enough for people baiting. Absolutely, I agree. I don't know if trap is the right word. I think it's set right, but like at the end of the day, with these smaller seeds, like you saw this year with Carolina, Michigan State, it's like, ooh, why is this line small? It's like the line's right. Like the line is right, you know, and it's just tempting. And there are obviously more quote fish out there in March. And that's why the public cleaned up yesterday because a lot of that was public. It's like, oh, you see a 1 seed at 4.5 against a team with 14 losses, like hammer the favorite, and everything worked. Yeah, I definitely lean stay away, guys. I'm just saying if I didn't have such an emotional complex relationship with Clemson, I'd probably take Clemson. But I can't because I don't trust them. I don't trust the team that's going to show up for Clemson, okay? You know what team I do trust to show up, guys? And it's the next game we're going to be talking about today, Yale, San Diego State. I said the dogs are barking today, but not for this game. I am definitely betting San Diego State today. Here's why. Who remembers last year? Furman beat UVA, and I know it's UVA, blah, blah, blah. San Diego State held on against Charleston. Charleston gave them a good game. And then they rinsed Furman. San Diego State cooked Furman. And let's talk about that Yale-Auburn game. Credit to Yale. That was awesome. That was exciting. Couple caveats. One, Chad Baker-Mazara gets thrown out 3 minutes into the game. And I know sometimes he doesn't pop off the page or we don't really treat him like he's that good. If you're an Evan Maya guy, guess who Evan Maya's 14th best player in the country is in terms of how much you impact the floor on both ends. Chad Baker-Mazara. So you take away one of the most impactful players in the country, number 14, according to Evan Maya. That matters. Number 2, Yale was like down 10. And then Auburn had some sloppy Yale was down 10 with like 9 minutes to go. Auburn had a couple sloppy turnovers. They were right back in. They hit a few threes. Like, Yale's got 2 dudes who are absolute snipers. Let me go back to this. Yale has 2 dudes that are absolute snipers in Mahoney and Poulikides, right? Snipers. 40%, 45%. Danny Wolf can shoot it too. But like, when we talked about James Madison did not play a perfect game and beat Wisconsin. James Madison was straight up just a better team than Wisconsin. Yale, no one thinks they're a better team than Auburn, right? They stole that. They stole that because they took care of the ball pretty well, good enough for when you're playing Auburn, right? You shot 9 of 20 from threes. They were terrible shooting free throws, by the way. You got a lucky break with Baker-Mazara, and you're playing this Auburn team that's just a little sloppy and a little crazy. And although Auburn and San Diego State are both elite defenses, right? Although Auburn is 5th and San Diego State's 10th, here's why I think San Diego State's a way better defense. I haven't gone to the Utah State-Purdue game yet, so hold your horses there. San Diego State is about bullying you. It's about physicality. It's about strength. It's about power. That's what San Diego State's defense is, right? Auburn's defense is what? Frantic, in your face. It's more like speed oriented, if that makes sense. Like, I understand like the Broom and Jalen Williams, like those are strong guys. Like, I'm somewhat simplifying it, but like at the end of the day, if you really understand something, you should be able to simplify it. This is how I see the difference between those two defenses. San Diego State is, yes, that's a good point too. San Diego State 3-point defense is really good. They're connected. Auburn, it's more like overwhelming you with like energy and speed, being up in you. But it's those young guards, right? But with San Diego State, it's Lamont Butler, right? Like Lamont Butler is a scarier on-ball defender than like anyone on Auburn and in Auburn's backcourt, right? Like Lamont Butler is going to cause nightmares. And exactly, slower tempo is a more half-court game. Like Yale's not going to get those easy runouts. Yale's 3-point shooters are not going to have as much space, right? And one interesting angle, one counter argument to stuff I'm saying is, as much as I love Jalen Ledee and I think he's going to go off in this game, Wolf is bigger than him. But if San Diego State's rock solid on him, like he's just going to have a tough time backing down, just because of how strong and physical San Diego State is. And like, let's not forget, he was in this moment last year. San Diego State is old. These guards, I know they can't shoot. I get it. It's not good. They can shoot, though. They can make threes. They're just not going to do it consistently, okay? And I'm a believer in regression. Okay, you're 5-18 from deep and call it 4-17 because Ledee hit his one. And then what happened in that title game against New Mexico? Nobody could help out Ledee either. 4 for 20. Like, this team's due, okay? And Trammell and Parrish and Waters, Saunders, even Jay Powell, these guys can step out and hit a three. And it's not their game. I'm just saying, if you're Yale and you're collapsing on Ledee, like, or also if you're these San Diego State guards, it's a lot harder to score against New Mexico and UAB. UAB is a very athletic team, right? Or a Utah State team. Yale is much easier to score on, okay? And Auburn, my point with Auburn has been if you slow down Broom and they don't hit threes, they're not that good. Or if you keep Auburn in the half court and you slow down Broom, they're not that good. Did Yale slow down Broom? Broom had a pretty good game. Broom had 24. He got to the free throw line, like 6 offensive boards, 4 assists. Jaden Ledee is going to eat, guys. Jaden Ledee is so nice. He won them this game. Like UAB was right up in them. He is on a tear, guys. He is unstoppable. Jaden Ledee is nice. He can hit his little elbow jumper. He can put it on the floor, step out into the three. He's so solid. He is so strong. He's quick. He's got a plan every time he puts the ball. He is so fun to watch. He is such a beast. If Broom ate like he did, I have every confidence in the world that Ledee is going to eat and eat more. He's going to bully. You understand how, and I understand Yale can cause problems with what? shooting, discipline, Ivy League stuff, taking care of the basketball, defensive rebounding. I get it. But San Diego State just played UAB, okay? And had to play a team that was with Yaxel Landenborg, who's a monster. One of the best rebounders in the country, okay? And now you get to play Yale. It's like last year. You played Charleston. It was a gritty half-court game. They played you well, but it's like you're playing Furman. Like, it's harder for these schools. Like, you saw Oakland compete well in their second game. They probably could have won that. Like, this isn't just stretching to all new majors. I'm more talking about what does Yale do well. Like, Yale doesn't have, like, Yale doesn't have the athletes. It's like they didn't need athletes to beat Auburn, right? They didn't need athletes to beat Auburn, but I feel like you do need athletes to beat San Diego State, if that makes sense. Because once it is in the half court and it's a slower tempo, you're not getting as many easy ones. Like, man, Yale's going to have to play a perfect game to beat San Diego State, in my opinion. And Danny Wolf could be a little bit of a matchup problem. I will give you that, but like, I just trust San Diego State in this defense, guys. Like, I think they're going to win by double digits. Who's going to check Pouakitas? Doesn't matter. Somebody, right? And that's another great point. Yale's obviously good. They almost went into they gave Kansas a really good game back when Kansas was great. You know, you didn't get blown out by some of these teams. Like, Yale's a good team. They're not supposed to be here. If Mahoney and Pouakitas didn't go crazy the last 2 minutes, and I get it, they did, whatever, stupid hypothetical, and these guys are crazy good three-point shooters, like, San Diego State's going to check them. San Diego State's going to check them. And, like, you looked what NC State did against Golke, right? I know Golke still had a good game, but, like, Casey Marcel, my guy, shout out Casey Marcel, make some noise in the chat if you tailed. That we should have hit the 3+3s for Casey Marcel, too. I hope some of you guys tailed. That was a great bet. Point is, Casey Marcel was up in Golke. It's like it's going to be an extreme priority to slow those two guys down. And who is it? Noling? Noling's the guy who's got just nice. He's got nice touchdown low. Like, he can create space, and like he's kind of similar to. Let's go, Matt Cunningham. I appreciate you. No, it's 5.5. It's been 5.5. Okay, this Nolan guy is like similar to Trey Townsend. Like, kind of just wants to create space. Like, kind of like a 6'6", undersized forward, but just quick. Like, can play off 2 feet, has a good shot fake. Like, good touch around the rim. Like. And in the mid-range, it's just going to be physical, man. Like Auburn, not having Baker Mazzara made Auburn worse. They've got more spastic guards. I understand San Diego State's guards can't shoot, but Auburn's just more spastic and frantic. It's SEC. And I know San Diego State's in the Mountain West, but they don't deserve to be in that bucket. They made the final last year. I just don't know if Yale's going to guard them that well. Like, I don't know why we don't think that San Diego State can hit some shots and open it up. Or that they're going to be able to keep like the Trammels and the Butlers in the world off the bounce. Like, but I definitely would lean under. I agree. So that's play number 2. We've got James Madison on with the points, and I'm laying points to San Diego State. Yale team total under. I don't know what that line is. If it's less than like 65, I would definitely take a look at it. I just don't think that those shooters are going to have like even. Guys, 9 for 20, considering the difficulty and the depth of those shots, was nuts. And they needed all 9 of those, right? And they easily, if Auburn made their free throws, could have lost the game. Yale needed so many things to go right to win this game. And that's no disrespect. It's an awesome win. But yeah, so far, I've got James Madison and I've got San Diego State. Still deciding on sizing. To be honest, I haven't placed them yet, but I will. All right, my next one, guys. Northwestern UConn. Make some noise in the chat if you have a bet on this game and tell me why. I want to hear from you all. Also, if you're here, 62 people is awesome. I'm very thankful and grateful for you guys. Please press like. Please press subscribe. I'm on the road to 200. Steady building. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate all the support. It's been a lot of fun. Best time of the year. Cheers. Well, let's drink coffee right now. Give me a cheers. But can anyone make some noise if they're laying points with UConn or if they're taking them with Northwestern? You know, I can't hate on that logic. UConn's the best team. How does Northwestern get stops? Twins fan. Let me say this. It's a great question. And it's a question that I always ask. But what happens time and time again? They do. Purdue, say what you want about Purdue. You gotta find someone outside Illinois to do it for you. UConn because they're a freight train. Pass for me because I don't bet against UConn. Is this Joey? Joey Dietz, what's up, bro? It's hard to bet against UConn. I really get Huskies by double digits. Not helpful. Line's 13.5. Okay, sorry. I didn't read your whole thing. I apologize, Patrick. Yes, you were laying the points to UConn. True, okay. Ton of points to lay in the tournament. Absolutely. Taking UConn here. Don't get into the boo zone. Guys, I have a play on this game. I already played it. Northwestern, first half, +8. Here's why. We've seen this team time and time again. What do? I faded them this year. They've burned me in the past, okay? Why? Because on paper, they're not that good outside of Boo Buie, right? Oh, what up, Steven? What up, Steven? Guys, Boo Buie is in total control. And let's not forget this. Northwestern is playing with house money right now. They're down 2 starters. They already made it back to the tournament for the second straight year, okay? Boo Buie's already the all-time leading scorer, okay, for Northwestern. They already won a game. Hear me out. Northwestern, we've seen them time and time again. Other than getting cooked by Illinois, at Illinois, stuff happens on the road, okay? Early conference play, you got cooked on the road, whatever. Guys, we've seen Northwestern time and time again. What do? They play up to their competition. They play better than they should play. And it's because they have, in my opinion, a top 3 point guard at the bare minimum in the country in Boo Buie, okay? You've got guys like Barnhizer and Martinelli that, as dusty as they look, right? They get the ball in the hoop. They get the ball in the hoop, man. Who cares how it looks? They get the ball in the hoop. You saw Ryan Langford go absolutely nutty in overtime. This team is not as good as when they had Ty Berry and Matty Nixon. I know. That's why I kept fading them. And I've only been right once, and it was against Iowa, okay? I'm telling you guys, Northwestern plays up to their competition. We've seen UConn have sleepy starts too. Big East tournament, I'm pretty sure they were down a half or they're up 1 against Xavier, right? Against Marquette, they couldn't score for the first however many minutes of that game, right? Close game at halftime. St. John's, close game at halftime. UConn's going to wake up and they'll probably cover this spread. But I am very confident that this Northwestern team, exactly, they start slow. I will not be surprised if this Northwestern team starts hot. They can shoot the 3 ball, man. And I understand UConn is so well coached. Maybe they're finally going to be the team that is really pushing Buie out with the ball, is really hard hedging, right? Or he's just absolutely rattled by Klingon. It could totally happen. I'm not saying bet the house. Hey, what's wrong with a little double result? Right? But you guys hear me. We've seen UConn start slow. We've seen Northwestern time and time again play up to Purdue, and say what you want about Purdue. It's damn hard to do. They play up to their competition. They have great hands defensively. They're so well coached defensively. I've heard that they have this assistant coach who's the mastermind behind it all. As much as credit Chris Collins deserves, they have an assistant coach that's like the defensive mastermind. Doesn't matter. Luke Hunger's out there like Vlad Golden's going to eat. Vlad Golden eventually ate, but like turned the ball over and got stripped and couldn't even get a post touch sometimes, right? I've seen it too many times with Northwestern. This is probably the last time. It's highly likely this is the last time we're going to see Boo Buie in this flavor of Northwestern play because it's damn hard to replace Boo Buie, right? But I've seen this movie too many times to not cash in on it, guys. It's going to be a close game at halftime. UConn is going to win this game, and they'll probably do so comfortably. I'm just so confident. They take care of the ball. They shoot the 3 ball well. They slow you down on D. They move the ball well, and they are rock solid. Make some noise if you believe in the Cats. Yeah, Chris Collins can coach. I'm just trying to give credit to the defensive coach too. Guys, time and time. Northwestern, why did they lose this game? They just didn't have enough offensive juice. It's close to half. Okay? This game, they didn't have enough offensive juice. It was close to half. Michigan State, they were up at half. On the road at beloved Michigan State. Okay? We're getting 8 points for a team that time and time and time again shows us they can compete with the big dogs, no matter who they're throwing out there. And as good as Tristan Newton is, first-team All-American, Boo Buie's the best guard on the floor. Straight up. And I'm a UConn guy. I think they're going to win the title. My man. So here we are. I appreciate you. It's not a great read yet because it hasn't happened, but I appreciate the compliment. Maybe I'm going to look stupid when one team finally gets up in Boo, picks him up half court, picks him up full court, denies ball, doesn't let him walk into threes, doesn't go under on screens, and locks his dumb ass up. I haven't seen it yet. Why should I believe that now? And I told myself after the St. John's cover that I was done going against UConn. Now I officially promise this is my last time going against UConn. Okay? But we're taking the Cats. We are taking the Cats to keep it close at halftime. Okay? And just the last point. Like these Purdue games, man. Why do so many people struggle with Edey, other than the fact that he's huge? It's that they don't even have a plan. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got teams like Rutgers that goes, hey, we're going to live and die with Cliff O'Morey trying his best to guard him one-on-one. You have other teams that we're going to double on the dribble. We're going to double on the catch. We're going to front. We're going to do what Fairleigh Dickinson did in triple team, okay? There's different plans you have for Edey. In Northwestern, it's so telling for who this team is of how they guard him and how they play him. They strip and rip at the ball. They're connected. They're great rotating out. And they know who you can let shoot. Like if we lose this bet because Stephon Castle hits 3 threes, what do we say? We tip the cap. Hey, it was in a loving way. Saying that he had some meat on his bones. Eric Dixon's a great player. Okay? As is Eddie Lampkin, as is DJ Burns. And he is not in that tier of electric fat boy, but Eric Dixon's got some weight on him. Let's call a spade a spade. Oh, dude, you are. I appreciate you participating. You're an hour behind, my friend. But yeah, he's thick. Come on. And we already covered that Marquette Colorado game. You can rewind if you want to read more about that. So play number 3, Northwestern first half +8. Make some noise if you're make some noise if you're tailing. Lampkin is obese compared to Dixon. 10 more pounds, guy. Hard disagree. You guys want to talk about Alabama Grand Canyon, or you want to talk about Purdue Utah State? Let me know. Purdue Utah State or Grand Canyon Alabama? What's up, Bill? You guys are on the same page. We talking Lopes? One guy said Bam. A lot of people called this the Grand Canyon game. All right. Guys, who was with me on my first 2 streams when I talked about the Grand Canyon St. Mary's game? Because this is exactly what I said. I wanted to take Grand Canyon because I thought that their ability to get to the free throw line and to be athletic could cause problems for St. Mary's. I eventually talked myself out of it because I'm like, St. Mary's going to control the glass. We've seen it time again with Randy Bennett in the first round of the tournament. They're going to be able to neutralize the athleticism to the extent, win this game 62-50, slow it out to a crawl, hit enough shots, okay? Oh my God, I forgot about A&M. We're going to get to A&M. Don't you worry about that. I totally forgot. It's because I have Houston Start as my favorite team on ESPN because they used to be my favorite team. They still kind of are. I have a lot of favorite teams. I'm kind of all over the place. So chronologically, my order was messed up. We will get to the Aggies. I have some things to say about our Aggies, okay? And we'll get to the Purdue game. I might have a play on the Purdue game, guys. I love the board today. I had some drunk goggles for a second when the tournament started. They're off. I'm back. I'm so back, okay? Back to the Grand Canyon point. I was like, at what point does St. Mary's rebounding so well, being disciplined and organized and well coached, at what point does that reach its threshold, right? Where it's like, yeah, Aiden Mahaney can guard ball screens right against players A, B, and C, but then when you're playing player D, now it's a lot harder because it's athleticism, right? There's just levels. Tyon Grant Foster looked like what's the idiom I'm looking for? I don't know. He stood out. It's like, this dude is a freak out here. Why in the world would I bet St. Mary's? Why was St. Mary's favored in this game? Who's the 5 seed? Right? That's the vibe you got from watching that game. And it's let's be clear about something. It is not just Tyon Grant Foster. Okay? Ray Harrison, guard Ray Harrison was preseason player of the year in the country. Not the country. Let me pull the brakes. In the conference, in the WAC. Guess who it was the year before? Jovan Blackshear. Jovan Blackshear has been at Grand Canyon for 5 years, and if he didn't, he got hurt last season. But look at the year before. Bro was hooping. Look at those assist numbers. Bro was hooping. So he's easing back, and he's not himself yet. You see the numbers. He's not himself yet, but he's still there. He's still out there. He's still got his swagger, his court presence. He's still getting half the game. Still a fifth-year point guard from Oakland. Okay? That's your backup point guard. An ex-player of the year in the conference. Yeah, dude, Grant Foster, his athleticism jumped off the page at Kansas. I remember right when I was dipping my toes into sports betting, I was watching a Kansas-North Dakota State game. I think it was during COVID. There was no one there. And Grant Foster came in off the bench, and I'm like, who is this freshman? This kid doesn't know how to use his body yet. But, oh, my God, this is the most athletic guy I've ever seen. Fast forward, this boy can shoot it now. He gets to the free throw line. Really, he gets to the free throw line at a very high rate. Stat. Plays off of 2 feet, has a good shot fake. I could tell very soon at that game, you know what I'm saying, when I can tell about the bet if it's going to hit or not. This was the telling sign that bet was going to hit, that Grand Canyon was going to cover and win that game. Grant Foster was getting into the lane and playing off 2 feet, pump faking, and getting to the free throw line against St. Mary's, against Kings of Discipline St. Mary's, who had no depth. The second I saw him get to the free throw line a couple times, and then they got a couple dunks, I'm like, Grand Canyon's going to win this game. Grand Canyon's going to win this game. St. Mary's can't guard them. Which brings us to Alabama. So you guys understand what I like about Grand Canyon. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm not done about Grand Canyon. Locke War? I know he was chucking threes a bit. How did this dude not play at Oregon? He's a freak. Blocking shots. Duke Brennan can move. He's athletic. That big white boy's athletic. Colin Moore he's crazy too. He's their best defender. He can hit shots. I remember he had the ball at the top of the screen. Where's my basketball? What did he do? He literally jabbed. Mahaney went into the screener, and he went and dunked it. Like straight line drives to the rim. Oh, exactly. What's up, LeBron? I didn't know you were making time for me out here. What up, LeBron? Yeah, Grand Canyon. If you see the videos, they had like a whole plane of students. It's in Spokane. How many Alabama people? Alabama's a football school. Let's not get it twisted. They're good at basketball. They're a football school. How many Alabama fans are bringing their asses out to Spokane to go watch them play Charleston? And then if they win, the enticing matchup with St. Mary's. Grand Canyon, everyone's there. There's probably going to be more people there than there were on Friday. It's a borderline. It's a semi-home game. You've got all this athleticism. Gabe McLaughlin is a stretch four who can shoot the three. Now let me get to Alabama. Let's talk about the matchup, right? But what was the key thing about St. Mary's? St. Mary's can guard them, and Grand Canyon was getting to the free throw line. They didn't even shoot the three ball that well. They're not a great three-point shooting team by any means, but they're solid. They can hit it. They've got capable guys. And you shoot 5 for 18 from the free throw line, only grab 6 offensive rebounds against, mind you, the best rebounding team in the country in St. Mary's. You held your own on the glass. Look at how much you got to the free throw line against a team. I guess they're not great at not fouling. You get the point. Okay? Grand Canyon hooped. Let's talk about Alabama. I was on Alabama against Charleston. Make some noise in the chat if you had Alabama too. A good read. The walk-ons almost pissed it away, but we held on. Here's the thing with Bama. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this is an offensive-minded team that wants to shoot a bunch of threes, doesn't play any defense. But let me dig into a little bit of like that doesn't play any defense thing, right? It's kind of similar to Florida. To me, it's like, I get you're playing with pace. I get you're a good offensive team, but like legitimately, why are you so bad at defense? Like you've got really good basketball players. You clearly have good enough coaches to put you in positions to score the basketball. Why are you so bad at defense? You have guys like Nick Pringle and, Wagi, Grant Nelson, Ubute, like who in theory should be really good defenders. And on another team, I imagine they would be a really good defender. Latrell Wrightsell is probably their best defender, if we're being honest. And he's been great since he's came back. He was. You think this team missed Latrell Wrightsell a bit? Lost 3 of 5 where he didn't really play. You think they missed Latrell Wrightsell a bit? He 5 for 6 from deep. Hello. Okay. Part of the reason I took Alabama against Charleston, I was like, in an open floor game, give me those dudes against those dudes, right? In a high-scoring game, give me those dudes against those dudes. And that's exactly what happened. That's my simple version. Obviously, I wrote my stupid long-ass write-up. But, 13 to 23 from deep. Guess what? That's the first game Alabama shot over 30% from deep in a minute. Alabama had not been shooting the three ball well. And they still obviously put up these huge point totals because of the pace of the game. But 6 of 25. What did they do against Arkansas? 9 of 30. What did they do against Florida the first time? 5 of 23. As good as Alabama is at shooting the basketball, right? They have games where they don't hit their threes. And they want to play with pace. They want Mark Sears to be the engine. They want to run a high ball screen with the floor space, and you're spraying to shooters when the help comes. It's pretty simple what they do. And they want to get into their offense as quick as possible. Sometimes you bring the ball up the floor, big man sets a little screen, boom, shot, 3-pointer from the top of the key. So, yeah, Alabama's tough to guard. But at the end of the day, my only concern with Grand Canyon is if Alabama goes by 3 and Grand Canyon goes by 2. Because let's be real, Grand Canyon's going to be able to score. Everybody scores on Bama. Am I wrong? Everybody scores on Bama. Let's just make a simple logical assumption that Grand Canyon's going to be able to score on Bama too. Right? And Grand Canyon's 2-point defense is better than their 3-point defense because of the rim protection that they have with the Lockwords, with the Brennan, with the Grant Fosters of the world. But if Bama can't guard them, and this is a super high-scoring game, that's my one concern, is that Alabama hits more threes. But then once again, it brings me back to this point that Alabama has plenty of games where they don't shoot the three ball that well. And who says, here's my other key piece. And I'm going to bring us back. So I talked about Grand Canyon's 3-point defense versus their 2-point defense. Hear me out, guys. I think this might be a really good point. Hear me out. Against Alabama, in theory, right? In theory, it should be more important to be good defending the 3-point line. You follow? But here's why I think it's the 2-point defense that matters more. Mark Sears getting downhill and getting to the rim. Grant Nelson getting to the rim. Reitzel getting to the rim. Estrada getting to the rim. That's what opens up all of the threes. It's off of kickouts and off of ball reversals, off those kickouts and attacking closeouts. Boom, spray. And if you're protecting the rim, or it's just harder to get to the rim, you're not going to get as good looks from 3, or you're not going to be as efficient on 2-point shots. What's Nate Oates' whole thing? Layups and threes. Daryl Morey. Math, numbers, I get it. Which, by the way, doesn't take that much of rocket science. When I was an idiot 11-year-old playing 2K, I only took layups and threes. Just wanted to get that out there. But it's the same thing with Madden. It's why am I better at Madden, at clock management, than an NFL head coach? Literally, your average college bro is better at time management than the NFL coach. It's just crazy. Whatever. Point is, I do think Grand Canyon's rim protection and athleticism on the perimeter will make it harder for Alabama to get good looks. I think Grand Canyon can defend them. And I'm very confident Grand Canyon can score. And they're fun. And it's a semi-home game. Go Lopes! Yeah. Who did I sell? Make some noise. Make some noise if I sold you on this. That was one of my best pitches I think I've ever made on this stream on Grand Canyon. Please humor me. I got 54, you guys. Is everyone playing Subway Surfer? Sold. I got 1. Anyone else? What up, Joey? I got 1. Anyone else? Everyone playing Temple Run? Not paying attention? Good. Come on, squad ride. All right, go Lopes. Go Lopes. All right. You're playing MLB The Show. Hey, good man. Multitasking. Hey, honestly. And that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you. Hey, there we go. That's what we like to call a positive reinforcement, right? Or that might be a confirmation bias. Go Lopes. Watching Family Guy. Hey, that's impressive multitasking. Hey. Can we take a look real quick at the? Am I allowed to? Can you guys see the spreadsheet, the infamous spreadsheet, guys? Can we take a second? Your boy was down 10 units on February 17th and went on an absolute tear. Okay, especially over conference tournament week, guys. My March Madness hasn't been that bad. I'm down less than 2 units, and I literally missed on my biggest play. Okay, I hit on. Like, can I zoom this out? I hit on Alabama. I hit on UConn. I hit on Marquette Live. I hit on Shahada Wells. I hit on the Iowa State. I hit on Colorado. I hit on Casey Morcell. I hit on Wazoo. I've had a decent March Madness. I just had a couple of swings and misses. Okay. This one was stupid. I knew all week I shouldn't do it, and I did it anyway. That was stupid. This one, I overthought. Honestly, if I had to do it again, I would have taken South Carolina. You saw last night with Oregon Creighton that they had 2 dudes that could score. This one, BYU played the worst game I've ever seen them play in my entire life. You saw last night against Illinois that Duquesne's not good. I would do that bet again. This one was emotional. It was a heat check. Clemson pissed me off all season. That was stupid. Guys, I lost 6 units on one play, and I'm only down 2 on the tournament. This one was the complete wrong side. This one was lucky. Point is, I agree I'm due, but it hasn't been that bad. That's a damn good number. And when you look at the season as a whole, I literally had 1 bad week, and I had a lot of good weeks. Look at all my bad weeks. I had how many weeks did I have of over -5 units or more? I had 1, 2 legit bad weeks. Okay, and how many legit good weeks did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Trust the process. It's a game. We're playing a game. I could be wrong about everything today, but I feel good about today. I really have a good feeling about this today. Let's quick summary. What do we got so far? Northwestern first half +8. San Diego State -5.5. James Madison +7.5. Grand Canyon +5.5. Grand Canyon and James Madison, I might need to take the money line. No, you're good. I was just ranting. I will tweet out my units. I haven't placed the bets yet, so I haven't decided yet, to be honest. A spreadsheet stream where I show you my formulas. Honestly, my spreadsheet could get better. You know, it would be nice if I had these as 2 separate categories. I could like filter out like what my record is taking each team. So the spreadsheet will be new and improved next year. Don't you guys worry. But yeah, well, we can stream anything. Oh, A&M money line. All right, who wants to be sold one more time? Who wants to be sold one more time? I got one more play today. I'm not saying this, but guys, here's why I'm playing Texas A&M today. A team that I am tired of watching. Here is my thesis with Texas A&M. Okay? It's all about the thesis, right? Y'all heard my thesis with Grand Canyon. You heard my thesis with Northwestern. I don't like to bet against Kelvin Sampson either. I'm a huge Houston guy. I love Houston. I would be very happy if they made the Final Four, won the title. Texas A&M drives me nuts. But here are things that are for sure. 1, this team is hot. You can't tell me that this team is not red hot right now. Thing number 2. They played this first matchup, okay? They played things that matter. Ready? 1, Tyrese Radford didn't play. 2, Joe Tugler and Terrence Arsenault did play. Okay? 3, Manny Obaseki wasn't a thing yet. Manny Obaseki is a thing now. Hello. He changed their entire season when he became a thing. Okay? Wade Taylor went nutty. Texas A&M was able to offensive rebound against Houston. And remember, they had Tugler. Okay? They didn't have Radford. Houston shot 41% from deep. They were up 21 in the second half, and A&M came and tied the game. Houston was lucky to win this game, guys. And this was full-strength Houston that no one could touch. And A&M caused problems. This is the whole thing with A&M. They have their Q4 losses. They look like absolute booty cheeks. A 2-pack of booty. That's what they look like sometimes. But other times, they can cause problems for the best teams in the country because of their style of play. And here is the point that I keep that I haven't said yet. Being up 21 and winning isn't lucky. Up 21 in the second half. I don't know. What are you saying? Okay, but Kavanaugh, here's my point. Here's my point. Ready? What does Houston do so well defensively? They are aggressive in guarding ball screens. They blow up ball screens with their trap and they rotate. A&M doesn't play like that. Houston was lucky to win in the sense that they shot 41% from deep, blew a 20 and were up 21 and where they got owned in the second half. And they were healthier then. And okay, maybe that wasn't the right logic. The point I'm saying is like A&M was right there. They outscored them in the second half, and they were the better team for 15 minutes of that game. Okay. Here's the thing about this elite perimeter defense. What does A&M do, guys? I wish I could map. Is there like a basketball whiteboard that I could? This would be so hype if I could do this. I'll just try and explain it. Guys, A&M rarely it's about this ball screen. It's iso ball. You can't trap a ball screen if there is no ball screen. Tyrese Radford, Obaseki, and Wade Taylor can just get downhill because of their speed and their athleticism and their handle, right? They get downhill and they get a shot. Or Wade Taylor steps back and hits a three. That boy can cook, right? And then what's the counterpart to that? They crash the offensive glass hard, and they had success against Houston. And this is a Houston front court that is thin. Okay? And Texas A&M is going to crash, and they were successful rebounding last time. Exactly. They rarely use ball screens. You can't trap a ball screen if there is no ball screen. Obaseki wasn't a thing last time they played. Tyrese Radford didn't play. Wade Taylor did it by himself. Dragged his team back into the game. 34 points. We know what Wade Taylor is capable of. This team is red hot right now. The only team that beat them was Florida, a team that was seeking revenge. And a Florida team that, before Mike went down, was playing like one of the best teams in the country, and a team that's really hard to guard. A Florida team that's harder to guard than Houston. Someone said, exactly. Okay, wait, where's this point? I get that, the Wade Taylor thing, but remember, Radford didn't play last time, and Obaseki wasn't a thing. Like, they've got multiple guys who can get downhill, and as good as Shedding Cryer are at guarding and as connected as that defense is, A&M is drunk. Like, I don't know how else to say it, guys. A&M is drunk. They play a weird-ass brand of basketball that no one else plays. It's let my athletic guards go downhill and try to get to the rim, try to get fouled, crash the rim, and, like, every once in a while we'll kick out to the shooters for threes. That's not how other teams play Houston. How do other teams play Houston, right? Kansas, it's find my guy on the short roll. Find my passing big man. Boom, boom. Catch and shoot three, Johnny Furphy. It's, because Houston's so good at closing out, it's hard to get them on a pump fake because they don't jump, right? They don't jump at the contest of threes. It's you got to shoot over that good contest. That's why it's so hard to beat Houston. That's why. Is my Ken Palm tat? Okay, guys, ready for this Houston stat? Look at this. Assists per field goals made defensively. 60. Let's scroll down. 61%, 60% of field goals that Houston allows are assisted. Why? Because the way to score against Houston is to essentially not turn it over, to overcome their aggressive defense, right? If the ball screen's trapped and you make a good pass, you make one more pass, and someone hits a three, that was an assisted basket, right? And look who's number one. Oakland. Zone Oakland, right? Of course, against a zone, you're going to have more assists. It was part of my Casey Morcell logic, right? So, and A&M's here too, which is interesting. A&M's also an aggressive defense. They're not in Houston's lane, as a defensive team. And we haven't even gotten to that side of this equation. But the point I'm saying is Houston wants you to beat them with a pass. But A&M doesn't run their offense through crisp ball movement, right? And working the perimeter. And they don't play good offense. They just lean on their guards to just get downhill and to crash. That's literally what they do. And they have guys like Hefner who can hit threes, but all of Wade Taylor threes are him off the bounce, right? It's him creating for himself. It's who's really spotting up from three and hitting threes? These guys are all creating those looks for themselves. It's Carter. Hefner only played 9 minutes. It's like that's not the shots they're taking are threes on kickouts. Houston isn't taking away what they want. Yeah, guys, dude, A&M can score. Scored 98 against a Nebraska team that was the number 3 defense in the country since the beginning of February. And I know it's Nebraska, so you guys might be like, That's a stupid stat. I don't believe you. It's true. Okay? A&M has been cooking, and I know it's Kentucky. They can't guard. Still cooked. And it's the same formula. I'm going to get downhill with my guards. I'm going to let my guards play make. I'm going to let them play iso ball. I'm going to let them get to the rim. I'm going to crash the offensive glass. Only 3 offensive rebounds for Anderson against Garcia. What a horrible game for him. They get to the free throw line. They get downhill. They play drunk basketball. And it can totally succeed against the Houston team. We've already seen it succeed against Houston this year. Houston is not as good as they were then. A&M is better than they were then. 9.5 is a great bet. I'm not saying A&M is going to win this game. I would not be surprised if they did. I hope Houston wins, to be perfectly transparent. They don't move the ball. All right, I'm fired up. Someone make some noise if you're on A&M. Let me talk about Houston defensively. Someone said he does it every game. He's the best offensive rebounder in the country. Where is it? That's a lie. It's better than that. He gets more than that. I guess his rate just isn't good enough. But he grabs like literally 4.5 a game. Okay. Bro, we're not talking about the NIT. My team's playing the NIT, and I haven't even mentioned it. Favored by 9.5 against Georgia. We ain't talking about the NIT. Hey, good bet, Ian. Good bet. They run around and go psycho. Yes. This is my MVP of the Vil55. You are my MVP of today's chat. You've been killing it in today's chat. TCU did fuck up Houston on the offensive glass twice. Houston is a great offensive rebounding team. They're not as good of a defensive rebounding team. Hello. Hello. JoJo Tugler is probably the most likely NBA player on this Houston team. He's not playing. Juwan Roberts is getting injections in his knee every week, has had a shin contusion, and has stitches all over his hand. Or maybe that's Francis. Point is, they're not healthy. They're still damn good, okay? I still think they can advance far in this tournament. They just absolutely firstborn Longwood. Like, that was, if you took points with Longwood, you probably felt like an idiot. Why did Garcia only play Davis? Honestly, I don't know. It's a good question. He had 3 fouls. That could be why. Also, they were just up big. They were playing with a lead. Maybe they just didn't need him to be crashing like that. They run around and go psycho, guys. They're drunk. It's iso ball, and it works. And as good as Shed is defensively, as good as Cryer is, Sharp is, right? They're great team defenders. They're not necessarily like a, oh my God, you can't get by off the bounce type vibe. We saw Wade Taylor go for 34 against this team. Okay? Houston is playing. Okay, one key guy to this game for Houston that wasn't there last time is Myleik Wilson. Myleik Wilson is a guy, he reminds me of Tremont Mark. Super athletic freshman, great rebounder. He's a great rebounder. He's going to be huge for Houston in this game. If you can get his rebound prop, I would look at that. Why do I disrespect Shed? I'm not trying to disrespect Shed. That's crazy he's going 31st in the mock, though. Like, I love Shed. He's an amazing player. I just don't know if he's an NBA player. Be awesome if he was. I'm rooting for him. We don't do parlays here, but I'm happy for you, Jim. Okay. So, yeah. Someone said a while ago, Houston plays hero ball on the offense. That's not really true. I know what you mean by that, though, because in a way, is Houston that far apart from Texas A&M? Right? At the end of the game, it's go Shed and Cryer, Sharp pass on the perimeter, just take that 3. Like, they take a lot of threes from above the break with Shed and Cryer. And what does Houston do? They offensive rebound. And they're not running the most beautiful offense, right? They're kind of similar, okay? And for the 11th time, Obaseki wasn't a thing yet. Tyrese Radford didn't play. And that takes pressure off Wade Taylor because he doesn't have to do it every time. And Houston is thinner in the front court. What did Iowa State do? What did an aggressive team just do to them? Texas Tech couldn't hang. TCU defended Houston very well. They offensive rebounded well. Hello? TCU grabbed 30 offensive rebounds against Houston. They just couldn't score. Because guess what? They don't have as good guards as A&M. You saw it against Utah State. Jameer Nelson, Anderson, Tennyson, they can't get downhill like Wade Taylor, Tyrese Radford,
and Obaseki can. Texas A&M plus the points. I'm about to do something that I think is hilarious. Okay. Today is about the dogs other than San Diego State. And fire me up. What up, Jacob? What up, Jacob? I bought this shirt because I thought it was hilarious a month ago. And I realized I bought it at like 3 a.m. and I realized I'm never going to wear it. And then I realized that today is the perfect day for it. I hope you guys laugh. Take my comfy off. I got that dog in me. It's all about the dogs today. A&M, James Madison, Grand Canyon, Northwestern first half. The dogs are gonna be barking today. I am all about it. No, it's about the guards and drunk ball. They don't have anyone near Manuel Miller's skill. Dogs, bark, bark, bark. Okay, fine. One more game. One more game. Woof, woof, woof. All right. How funny is this shirt, guys? Will I ever wear it out in public? This doesn't count because this is all fairy tale. Dude, I'm not your NIT guy, but I'll make an exception for Wake. Wake's really good at home offensively. Last time they played App State, it was essentially a semi-home game. There were a ton of App State fans. I think it's a lot of points to lay against Georgia because Georgia was able to do things. But last time Wake played Georgia, it was a true road game. You didn't have Efton Reed. Wake's a lot better than they were then. It's just the NIT, though, so it can be a little funky to bet on because you don't know where teams' heads are at. Oh, my God. NIT, people. What are we doing? What up, Christina? Hey, Ian said there was going to be no girls here. Christina, it's a pleasure to have you, and I hope you're on these locks that I'm giving out. All right, last one, guys. Utah State, Purdue. What's the deal with Utah State? Because they're the one Mountain West team that won. Why did they win? Yeah, he prefers Boopy, but go Chippewas. Yeah, sorry, Twins fan. We're getting into Purdue right now. So Grambling played a good first half. I bet some of you guys were like, oh, it's happening again. It wasn't happening again, guys. Like, come on, dude. 30-21. Like, Edie did Edie things. Mason Gillison even hit a 3. Miles Colvin getting minutes is something I love to see. Ethan Morton not getting minutes, something I also love to see. Okay? TKR was solid. Lance Jones is the biggest. Oh, well. Cool. I had a girl. It's cool. Hey, we're with the boys. The dogs are barking. I also don't know if I believe you, Christina. How come you know, Jacob? You guys all huddled around together? Yeah, Colvin, I think is great, and I think he unlocks ceiling. Lance Jones unlocks ceiling. They didn't have Lance Jones last year. So this is me just leading off with like, yeah, he's great. He's great. He's great. Sure, yeah, I hear you, Christina. Yeah, it was good. Okay. That was me saying I think Purdue's really good. Like, I had convinced myself that TCU could maybe cause problems for Purdue, and Purdue's going to have a tough time guarding Gonzaga because I don't think anyone can guard Gonzaga the way they're playing right now if they're hitting shots. But let's focus on Utah State. What is it, 11.5 right now? 11.5? Here's what I think Utah State can do well. That's interesting. Great Osabor's not a three-point shooter, but he can move, right? And he's a guy you can play on the perimeter, and he can put the ball on the floor. And what I've tweeted this multiple times before. What is Zach Edey great at doing? He's great at sliding his feet. Like, a guard will get a switch on to Zach Edey, and they're like, "Oh, I'm frigging Chris Paul. I'm gonna go attack the switch like it's the NBA." And it's like Edey just swats your ass when you try to go in. Like, Edey can move his feet, so I don't know how much weight to put into the whole Great Osabor can pull him away from the basket thing. This dude Isaac Johnson is 7 feet, transferred from Oregon, and man, was he hooping against TCU. I've watched Utah State plenty this year, and that was the first time I was like impressed with this dude. Bro had 19, hit like 2 heat check threes, 4 blocks, 19 points. Isaac Johnson was hooping. Okay? And maybe he can pull Edey away from the basket as a 7-footer. And then Ian Martinez. Ready for this angle? Ian Martinez was on Maryland last year. Who did I started the video with this. The answer is it's a no play, but I broke the game down at the beginning. Ian Martinez was on Maryland last year. You know who did really good against Purdue last year? Maryland. Lost by 3 at Purdue, beat Purdue by 14 at home. He's been in the trenches against Purdue. Secret agent. He's gotten the experience. So he's definitely talking to his teammates about what it's like to play Purdue and saying things that worked for Maryland. That's an important angle, I think. You got the Ian Martinez angle, okay? So Mason Falslev also is, I know he's not that big, but he's like sneaky athletic. I know he's just a white boy from Utah, but like he was playing really good defense against TCU. And what else does Utah State have? You've got a point guard in Darius Brown, who is, his hairline is all the way back here. He's been in college for 6 years. He can hit shots. He hit that dope logo 3. Good decision maker. Takes care of the basketball. Is a good passer. I think he had 10 assists? What do you have, 10 assists? 10 assists. 11, 9, 9. You got a really good point guard in Darius Brown. So let's not get it twisted. Hate on the Mountain West all you want, guys. It's valid. Utah State's good. They won the league. They went 27-6. Okay? And I understand it's a first-year coach, all new players, blah, blah, blah. Danny Sprinkle has been with Darius Brown and Great Osabor. And I'm pretty sure, is it Udue? Someone else came from Montana State, I thought, that played. Okay, so this is me being nice to Utah State. Let me think about this matchup. Utah State turned over TCU. I think it's hard to beat Purdue if you're not turning over their guards, right? Utah State, on paper, does not turn the ball over very well. And they're a solid offensive rebounding team. They guard the three-point line well, which is interesting. But doesn't all that shit go out the window when you play against Purdue because it's just different? Like, if your three-point defense is good against normal teams, is your three-point defense also good when you, like, have to double Edey and he's able to kick out to wide-open guys? So this is an interesting thing. I just don't know how much weight to give that. You know what I'm saying? But Utah State's an efficient offense. Osabor, obviously, Edey towers over him, but who says that he can't be crafty in the lane and get shots up? Like, Great Osabor is a really good player, guys. He's a hooper. He gets to the line. Maybe Edey gets in foul trouble. Isaac Johnson's thin, but he's still 7 feet tall. And who is it? Sacco. It's the other big dude that they can bring in. So they got some bodies there with Edey. I still think it's tough to imagine Purdue losing this game, right? Considering as much hate as they want to, as they get, they're still a damn good team. They got the most dominant force in the country. Donovan Clingan, number 2, I would say. But yeah, Twins fan, my guy specifically, like I wonder what you think about your Boilers, but I definitely think you win. If I was forced to play an angle in this game, I would play Utah State first half. Similar to those, I just think that Purdue eventually will prove too much. But I think there's in this tournament setting, this Utah State team that's playing good ball, like I totally think they can keep it close in the first half because whether it's the Ian Martinez thing, whether it's what Osabor and Isaac Johnson can do to Edey on when they're on offense, and then the fact that they have multiple bodies to throw at Edey, and whoa, what am I doing? And like I said, I don't know how much weight to put into this stat, but if they're missing threes, if they're just really good at contesting threes, like, and Purdue's not hitting and they're rebounding, which, like I said, they're a solid rebounding team. If you go to the Mountain West, second best rebounding team in the Mountain West, like, there's reasons to believe that they keep it close. Edey getting 2 quick ones is the only thing I'm worried about. Hey, that's what can happen. That's why March Madness is crazy, right? Like, a game can completely be changed if your big man picks up 2 quick. He's been great about not following that take against. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Like, if you want to just fade the Mountain West, take Purdue. But if I didn't love, let me just say this. If I didn't love the board so much with 6 other plays, like, I'd probably take a look at Utah State first half. Because I do think they'll keep it close. I think Purdue will end up winning this game by around, I think this line is exactly right. I think it's going to be around 9-10, and it's 11. But you won't catch me fading Purdue just yet. I will definitely have my eyes on Gonzaga. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not, I know the books got all these parlay boosts out, so like have some fun and like use these boosts, but like if you're coming to me for my betting advice, I don't really do parlays. I might have some fun with my boosts because I haven't used any of them yet, but like I'm all about the straight bets. The spreadsheet, I don't need to pull the spreadsheet back up, but you guys see it's a steady climb. It's a grind. It's where are we at the end of the season? And I up my units a bit for the tournament, which is a little risky, but this is what we live for. So I don't care. And I don't even bet that much money, and I don't have any kids, and I don't have responsibilities. So I'm just here having fun. and I'm being responsible. Everyone should be responsible. If you're still here, I have to see the line. If you're still here, please like and subscribe. If you've been with me for this long and listened to me rant about college basketball, I feel like that means that you appreciate me enough that you'll help a brother out. I see 14 likes and there's like 70 people on the stream. So we're down to 46 now, which makes sense because I've been going on and on and on. But help a brother out, please. Press like, press subscribe. It takes no effort from you. And hey, the road to 200. So thank you all for joining me. Oh, one more question. 2 grade O's versus 2 grade D's. Okay, Iowa State, Illinois. Iowa State, Illinois is going to be awesome because I have no idea what's going to happen. And I remember people last year saying stuff like, "Oh, like when these upsets happen, we don't get to see the good matchups." And I used to be like, "Yeah, fuck off. Like it's fun, like upsets." I kind of get what they're saying right now. Like imagine if we had to see Duquesne, Wazoo. Instead, we get Illinois, Iowa State, and hey, I like that angle. Like I said, I'm staying away. I just think from an XO perspective, I think Clemson, there's value on the number with Clemson. But Baylor's better. They've been better this year. Langston Love, though, I'm telling you guys, Langston Love is a really good player that Baylor misses. Okay. Man, if you're playing Iowa State, you've got to – well, here's the thing. I talked about how A&M, like when you play a defense like a Houston or Iowa State, it's like if you have an offense that just has their own thing going on is when you can kind of cause problems. Like Illinois plays like a pro-style offense, right? Because of the ability of Shannon, what Hawkins does when he spreads out the floor, and what Domas can do in booty ball. So they'll probably double the shit out of Domas in the post. It's going to be really hard for Domas to get going. But as a result, that's going to mean a lot of open threes. I think Guerrier, Hawkins, and Shannon, too, honestly, are going to have to really shoot the 3-ball well. I totally think Illinois can, but, like, they will, like, completely neutralize Domask. Like, let me pull up my Kemp. This was, if you let me make some noise if you tell the Washington State team total under. One of my points in the Washington State team total under was Isaac Jones, who they played through against Drake, is not going to be able to score against Iowa State. What did he do? He had 8 points and went 2 of 5 from the field. Because if you're a back to the basket forward, you can't get going against Iowa State because they're going to double you. And that's why Jalen Wells was cooking in that first half, is that he was catch and shoot. He was ready to go, or he's boom, boom, I'm jabbing, I'm getting to my midi pull-up. Like, so Iowa State causes so much problems, right? But Illinois is a team that has more for Iowa State to worry about. But the fact that Illinois isn't great at shooting the 3-ball, like, they gotta make threes to win. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it. I lean Illinois though. Like I trust that. I think that offense can get going. It's gonna be hard and it's gonna be a grind. It'll be interesting for sure. I'll think about that one more this week. I already did that. It's only fun to decide whether or not to be able to play. Hey man, go. They're not gonna get cooked. I'll tell you that much. Their offense is too good. They're not gonna get cooked by Iowa State, in my opinion. It would be awesome. I love both. Marquette, Colorado is my game today where it's like, I'll be happy. I'll be really happy for either team. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show because that would be awesome. I do love Colorado. I can take credit for saying that they're a good second weekend sleeper like all season. But Marquette is my title pick in my bracket pool. So we'll see. I hear you. About the ACC guys, like that's a lot. I saw a lot of ACC victory lapping, considering the teams that were beaten were Wagner, Vermont, New Mexico, who's from the stupid Mountain West, and Texas Tech Texas Tech. Like credit where credit's due. I'm not trying to just be a hater, but like, and NC State's in the Sweet 16, Carolina beat Michigan State. Like the ACC is hooping right now. If Clemson beats Baylor, like then the ACC can start really making some noise. But yeah, they've been doing well, but like. The ACC did it to themselves. Like I understand they kind of got screwed, but at the same time, like in Pitt should have been in the tournament. Wake didn't deserve to be in the tournament. You went 9-10 to end the season. Whatever. As a TCU Oakland fan, what a combination. I need Eddie Lampkin and Avengers for me. Hey, good. All right. Thank you guys all once again for coming today. I think I'm about to turn this off. Appreciate you guys. I'll be on Twitter. I'll do some mini write-ups for my plays. I'll tell you guys my unit sizing. No, that's true. I was kind of being a hater for no reason, honestly. ACC has been balling. It's just crazy that NC State needed that buzzer beater to even make the ACC finals, right? Hey, say goodbye to me. Tell me you love me if you hung out this whole time. I appreciate you guys. Good luck to everyone today. Ian, my guy, day one right there. No, that would be horrible. Get him away. Hey, thank you, Twins fan. Good luck to your Boilers. I'll probably get Nick back on here. Nick's been out of town. I'm probably going to try get Nick back on sometime next week. If you guys know who Bobby Douglas is, he's an awesome college basketball YouTuber. I'm going to do something with him. I'm also going to be on the Sleepers media channel doing some previews and recaps. But yeah, you guys are awesome. I still think it's the coolest thing ever that I can just pull up my computer and talk about college basketball, and I have people out here live hanging out with me. It's so dope, and I appreciate you all. And I'm a big fantasy football guy, but that's it. Other than college basketball, I like to go outside and touch grass, play tennis, play golf, hang out with my friends after I've been inside all winter. So I don't bet baseball and I don't bet NBA either. But yeah, thank you guys once again. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Dogs are barking. True.